This is the all-new Hyundai Genesis. I just last week did a review of the Hyundai Sonata and was impressed with that car. But wow, has Hyundai ever upped the game with this latest Genesis. When the Genesis first came out, it really was to prove a point that Hyundai could produce cars on par with some of the best in the world. And now with this brand new model, they're not only producing cars that are just as good as the others, in some ways, this car is better. It's sold with two different engines, a V6, a 3.8 liter, and a 5 liter V8, and that's the model that we have here. There are three different trim levels with the 3.8. There's the premium, luxury, and technology, starting at $43,000, going to $48,000, and then $53,000 for the top V6 model. There's only one trim level with the 5 liter, the one you see here. It's called the Ultimate, and it's $62,000. Now, why do I think that Hyundai's doing some things better than the others? Well, first of all, styling. I think they nailed it. Have to remember, Peter Schreier, former head designer for Audi, went to Kia, became the head designer there, and then quickly became the head of design for both Hyundai and Kia. And I can certainly see some Audi influence in this new car with the big single grille, the roofline, the way it sweeps down the back in one motion, almost looks a little bit like the Audi A7. From the front side, the nose of the car looks a lot like a BMW 5 or 7 series. This particular car comes with 19-inch wheels. If you get the 3.8 liter V6 models, they come with 18-inch wheels. Very deep, rich, beautiful paint. It's hard to pick up here on camera, but I'm here to tell you the finish on this car is as good as anybody in the industry. I think the leaders in that regard are Lexus, and this is very, very close. Around the back could be seen as a little bit of Infiniti influence, especially with the chrome around the D-pillar, but the back of the car looks chunky and much better than the previous model with the quad exhaust tips sticking out the bottom of the car. The trunk is power operated, not only up but also down. These are features you typically get in high-end cars, and this car competes not only on features but also on price. Now think about the competition for a moment. The BMW 535 xDrive starts at $66,500 in Canada. If you want the V8 version, the 550, it's $76,000. A couple of cars that might be close in terms of appeal, the Lexus GS 350 with all-wheel drive, that's $57,000, and the Cadillac CTS all-wheel drive is $55,000, but that's got a turbo 4-cylinder engine. So if you look at V6 equipped models, this car is much, much less expensive. And if you look at V8 equipped models in the luxury realm of this size, it is way cheaper than the competition. So I think styling they've got down. One thing about the starting price at 43 grand, it's a bit misleading. It's kind of a loss leader, and inside I'll show you why. Now, the base model Genesis, as I mentioned, $43,000. It's $48,000 if you want to go up one trim, and that's the one I think you really should choose because there's a lot of features that are available on all of the Genesis models except the base model. And here's a list of some of the things that are worth considering if you're getting a Genesis. Now, the base model comes with standard leather seats, but all but the base come with the Napa leather seats that you see here. Also, the base model gets heated front seats, but on all but the base again, you get heated rear seats and you get ventilated front seats, the same as you see here. You also get 16-way power seats, and on the driver's seat, you get the power bolsters and the thigh extender. Once again, all but the base. Then you look at the beautiful wood accent on this car. Once again, on every trim level except the base model, you get the open pore wood. If you get the base model at $43,000, it comes with wood, but not that beautiful open pore wood. Now, a couple of things that are unique to this 5 liter, you get the ultra suede beautiful headliner. You also get a bigger screen in the front here. It's 9.2 inches. On all the other models, it's 8 inches. You also get a 7-inch TFT screen behind the steering wheel on the two top models, the top V6 and the top V8. If you go with their other cars, it's a 4.3 inch. Also, power tilt and telescopic is available, you guessed it, on everything but the base model. So Hyundai really doesn't want to sell that $43,000 car. They want to move cars out starting at $48,000. But even at $48,000, this is a very nicely equipped car. I have driven the Genesis several times. And this new model, I think, is so much better than anything we've seen from them before. It also shares the platform with the Equus, the bigger full-size sedan. and the K900, the Kia version, and they are beautiful on the inside as well. One thing I want to point out about this car that's different than the K900, for example, is the way that it drives. Now, the big change for this version of the Genesis is the fact that they have all-wheel drive. As standard equipment in Canada, that's a fantastic move. You go to any premium car lot and ask them, how many rear-wheel drive only cars do you sell versus all-wheel drive? And it's almost 100% all-wheel drive now. My advice is if you're going to buy a car, buy one with all-wheel drive because resale value really is important. So yes, they're in the game now with all-wheel drive, and they still have the same engines, a 3.8 liter, but they dropped the horsepower down from 333 horsepower to 311, and it has 293 foot-pounds of torque. And only one model, as I mentioned, comes with this beautiful 5-liter V8, and it has 420 horsepower, down slightly from the previous model, but it has 383 foot-pounds of torque. And this engine is fantastic. It just has a wonderful growl that makes it just sound right for this style of car, and it also makes this car very, very quick to drive. The 8-speed automatic transmission is carried over, so a lot of the same stuff that made the previous model of Genesis definitely worthy. 2 great engines, great transmission, now with all-wheel drive, continue. You also have drive modes here. You can go from eco to sport to just regular. This car feels much more dialed in than, say, the K900 from Kia, the bigger version, the kind of the cousin of the Equus. That's really soft and a big cruiser. This car feels dynamic, maybe not at the same level as BMW, but a very nice car to drive. Now, the electric power steering doesn't give as much feedback as you might want from a car of this stature, but it's not bad. It's definitely improved over previous models of the Genesis. Now, the one area that Hyundai is kind of out of step is the engine offerings are bigger than most of the competitors. A lot of the competitors are going to smaller turbo 4-cylinder engines. I mentioned the Cadillac off the top. That's a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Same thing with BMW. And then you get into the big power plant, the 5-liter V8. Sure, it's wonderful. It's got tons of power. Love the sound, but it uses a lot more fuel. The main competitors are going to smaller 6-cylinders with turbochargers or superchargers to get the kind of power that you would get in this car, but with a smaller displacement engine. And this vehicle does use quite a bit of fuel. It's rated at a whopping 17.3 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and just 10.5 on the highway. That's quite a lot of fuel, even though we're in this era right now of some cheaper gas prices. That's why the other manufacturers are going to smaller engines with turbo superchargers, getting the same power, and you get the benefit of fuel economy. But overall, is this a nice car to drive? Absolutely. The interior is sumptuous. The engine is fantastic. It's smooth, it's quiet, it's definitely poised. When you ask it to, it does what you want. It might not be as dynamic as some others, but you know what? As an overall package, considering what they're charging for this car, it's a steal. It's a hell of a steal in this size and price of car. I think bringing all-wheel drive to the Canadian market as standard equipment is an amazing feature from Hyundai, and the price of this car really starts just under $40,000 if you want it nicely equipped. That $43,000 model is a bit of a loss leader. The V8 model we have here comes fully loaded at $62,000. I wish they came down with a kind of a mid-grade V8 model so you could have the benefit of the beautiful V8 engine without having to spend for all the extras on the inside. As it stands, this car here is a lot of fun to drive. Hyundai has got so much going on that's right with this car. There are a few little niggly things, but overall, this once again shows that Hyundai can produce a fantastic car.